All right, so I'm sitting here with ESL's managing director for Pro Gaming, Carmack, here at IM Cologne. How are you doing?
Doing good. Busy, somewhat tired because of all the traveling we've been doing in the recent weeks. This is, this event, the final stretch for me, right before the finish line, and then I've got a couple of weeks of family time and vacation. So hopefully I'll recharge for a great 2015.
2014 has been quite eventful for ESL overall, with massive events in Poland, in America, in Asia. It's just, did you ever see the expansion occurring in this way and being as successful as it is?
I think if somebody told me 1 year ago what we will do in 2014, I would be guessing that they're talking about 2015, 2016, to be honest. It took me personally by surprise how much stuff that we did on such a large scale. Not the fact that we did stuff on a large scale, period, but just the sheer volume of what we did. I mean, we had how many mega events now? We had Intel Extreme Masters in Katowice, which was a massive event. We had Frankfurt, which was also, just as massive, ESL One. We had Madison Square Garden Theater. We had Intel Extreme Masters San Jose, and at the same time, we also produced BlizzCon Esports for Blizzard, and did several other things like the Wargaming World Championship and other things. So the company as a whole did a lot of massive things. And honestly, I would have expected us to be able to do that type of stuff in 1 year, maybe in 2015-16. Luckily, I am only responsible for a part of it. So I would be looking like a 45-year-old man if that was all me doing that stuff.
So overall then, how do you look at the success of it all? Is it just, does it just make you more and more driven to look even bigger, in 2015 and 2016?
Well, I think the only way to look is up. Once you've done something, the next step is important. We're a competitive company in the sense that what we do, we don't want to do it the same way next time. We want to do it better. So Katowice, for example, we announced today that we will have an expo right next to the arena, 8,000 square meters, with an exhibition. I looked today at some old coverage from Intel Extreme Masters back when I wasn't even working for ESL, and it's actually laughable that in our studio today you can watch matches in better conditions than the audience was able to watch at the very first Intel Extreme Masters finals in 2007. And that was in a corner of a trade show. Now we've built it into a trade show of its own, So every single time when we achieve something, we want to figure out how to do it better next time. So I don't know if we can keep growing like this as a company, and it's not, as I said, it's not just me. I'm responsible for a slice of what we do in pro gaming. But I cannot see us not making progress next year.
So overall then, since you're one of the companies, obviously there are others too, but since you're the ones that have aimed to take it to the biggest venues, outside of maybe Riot or Valve, then, who put on the International Worlds events. And I'm just wondering, do you feel like is the big scale venue the optimal way to watch esports overall? Because there's this kind of argument going on where maybe we shouldn't look after and just go after what actual sports do, with their massive venues. But how do you personally feel about the viewing experience in a massive crowd-filled arena in comparison to maybe any other viewing alternative?
I think overall, if you ask anybody that's gone to the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship in Katowice, for example, I don't think there's a better way to watch it with 10,000 other people. You're sitting there, and if something amazing happens, and it happens to be your favorite game, there is nothing that can beat this feeling. Period. Of course, if you're that kind of person that is very skeptical of everything, I'm a Liverpool fan. I fly to Liverpool to watch games that I could watch on my television in high definition. Sometimes it's cold. Sometimes I have to wake up at 5 a.m. on one day to fly out, and 5 a.m. on another day to fly back in to, not miss out on family time too much. But I do it because there's value in it. It's a different experience, And same with esports events. It is a different experience. And at the end of the day, the bottom line is, if thousands of people didn't want to come and enjoy the events, we wouldn't be doing them, right? If we tried it once and it's an empty hall, we wouldn't be doing it again. People vote with their feet. If you want to stay at home or watch it on Twitch, no problem at all. But you're missing out on a lot of things. You're missing out on, meeting all these guys that you watch every day in person, and finding out, if Statsman Bruno really is as handsome as he looks on Twitch. You're missing out on potentially meeting players. One of the guys that went to Intel Extreme Masters in Katowice actually emailed us asking if there's any way we can help him get in this year, because he wants to propose to the girl that he met in Katowice. There is so much you can do. There is so much that can happen at these events. Any event, it could be Intel Extreme Masters, ESL One, BlizzCon, DreamHack, whichever event. If you don't leave home, nothing happens to you. You have to go out and meet people. Otherwise, you don't make the memories. If you all of us have watched esports events, and you've got this, some tournament in China. You woke up at 4 a.m. And what memories do you have of your favorite team winning that event? I mean, you're sitting in your freaking pajamas, maybe with a cup of tea. That's your memory. That's the memory you want to have when your best team is winning. I'd rather have a memory where I see, let's say I'm a 15-year-old kid who likes Counter-Strike, ESL One in Poland, Ninjas in Pajamas versus Virtus Pro, 10,000 people chanting, Pasha's name, and they win, and they're my favorite team. That's the memory I want to have, not, sitting in your pajamas in front of Twitch, eating something, delivery pizza, whatever. That's the memory you want to have for something special? No, I don't think so.
Okay, then. But then, I guess, how do you then work with if maybe issues arise? Like, obviously, then the bigger venue you get, or like the bigger you aim, like the more and more mistakes will like get pointed out, I guess. And so, is it always like, do you feel like there's a linear progression with you just constantly learning for each event, or do you think that some events like are criticized like too hard, like more than you were expecting?
There is a fair mix of it. Anytime you do something new, it's got dangers because you don't have experience to draw upon. If we go a second time into the same arena, we already know what the problems might be, how to fix them, what the feedback was, where maybe there was, problem here, problem there. It's really tough to go into a new place and predict everything perfectly. It almost doesn't happen, and I guarantee that anybody that runs events which are maybe even bigger and prettier than ours, let's say Riot or Valve or whoever, they go in, they work with completely different budgets compared to ours, but they go in, but they also have a list of, like, really long list of stuff that doesn't go as well as they wanted, and they go and do it better next time. It's just the nature of doing something the first time, right? There's a saying, your first house, build it for your enemy. Second house, build it for your friend. Third house, build it for yourself, right? But overall, as a company, I think we're good. We're soaking in all the feedback that is out there. Sometimes it's harsh, but it's fair. Sometimes it's a little bit unfair, but there's something you can learn from every bit of feedback, and we take all of it on board, because at the end of the day, our aim at the end of the day is so that every person that was there comes back and says, holy shit, that was an experience, you know? And we can't do that if we don't read the feedback. Sometimes it's harsh and it's painful to read, but that's part of the job also.
Okay then, I don't really have much more to add, so I guess you could just try and sum up all of ESL in like 1 year and just, you know, the final word's yours.
Well, all of ESL in 1 year, I think it's just, I'd say a massive leap, you know. Just the fact that what we did, major arena in Poland, major arena in Germany, major arena in California, Madison Square Garden Theatre, those 4 events, none of those, if you told me that they would happen, none of those I would have believed you that they would happen 8 years ago. And that's exciting. And, you know, it's this year is actually the year of those big major events, not just by ESL, but by other companies as well. And if they ever write history books or make documentaries about esports, I think 2014 is one of the breakthrough years. Simply because of how many different games have had a full house for a major final for their game, showing that esports is there, and you know that there are enough fans who want to come and experience it live. It's just such a massive thing in esports history overall. I make it sound really big, but if you think about it, it really is.
All right then. So, any final words overall, and like as we close the interview?
Just thank you for the interview, and du har stora ögonbryn.
Thank you.
Thanks.